Guys, and welcome to a bit of a different video. Now, Derby County have changed their managers over the last, 3 weeks or so. McLaren has been sacked. Technically, it's mutual consent, but it's basically sacked. And Paul Clement has been brought in. The backroom staff, it's a bit of a weird one. I kind of do want Eric Steele and Paul Simpson to stay, but at the same time, there was a funny tweet last night. It was actually David Beckham being linked as the Derby County assistant manager, but it was on a hoax account, so I doubt that's going to happen, but it'd be quite funny if it did. So I'm just going to show you what team that Clement does have to play with, because of course a lot of players have either ended their loans or contracts not being renewed. So Eustace is the only one that's a bit in the middle. He might re-sign and he might not at the same time. But Ben, Ince, Lingard, they were on loan, of course, and Mascarell. I don't think Ince will be coming back. I don't see Hull giving them to a fellow championship potential promotion team. I don't see that as an option, really, unless we pay like 5 or 6 million or something stupid like that. Ben, I could see this 80% going through. The only thing that could stop him is maybe a bottom Premier League side might go in for him, like Bournemouth or something like that. Barker, gone. His contract's not being renewed. Same with Ward, and I think Whitbread is gone. I'm sure he only had a 1-year contract and that's not been renewed. Quite a few youngsters here, and on the bench, we don't really have any wingers, so if we are going to continue with this formation, we definitely need to bring in wingers. So into the first team lineup we go. We definitely need to bring in a new winger. I don't think Dawkins is good enough. He's perfectly fine on the bench, there's no worries there. Selling players, I could really see us selling Salmon. I don't see why Clement would really want to keep him. Unfortunately, he's an okay player, he works his socks off, he's just not quite good enough. Warnock, he might be released as well if Clement doesn't want him, maybe just as a backup left back. Forsyth, he plays well, he does really play well, but is he good enough at that left back position? We could potentially bring in someone on loan. That's what I think we should do this year. Concentrate massively on the defence, because going forwards, like Johnny Russell and Martin, they're confirmed, no worries there. Obviously, we'll need a new CDM, at least one more if we don't re-sign Eustace. I think we should get him for another year, just as backup, because last season we had Mascarell as well, and we still didn't have enough CDMs, and we ended up playing Hansen at CDM, so that could be an issue. Maybe he'll bring Bryson into the first team lineup, and I don't know, maybe he'll change the formation, maybe he might go to, I don't know, 4-5-1 with Bryson playing a bit more advanced and stuff like that. I don't know his tactics really. Real Madrid were basically playing a 4-2-2, I think, towards the end of the season, so maybe he'll go to a 2-striker formation and get to, I think that combination may work, and then play Bryson and maybe Russell at striker. Maybe that's what he'll do, we'll see. So it's really unsure, because you've never really seen Clement do anything as a manager, so it's going to be really interesting to see what he actually does. So I've got a few players that are currently linked with Derby County in real life, and I don't see why we can't sign these players. The first one is Alex Pearce from Reading. Obviously he's on 12 months after his contract, he's quite experienced, stays back, and I think he's the kind of player we do need in this defence. I don't know if he's the captain at Reading or not, but he seems like a really powerful centre-back that will just break up play very easily. I reckon Albin Toza might do well under Clement as well, obviously being a former Spanish assistant. I don't see why he can't link up nicely. Wyman is also being linked to us, a very good signing if we actually get that player, because only a season or two ago, he was amazing, really good player. I don't see why, what's the name, Sherwood is not giving him a chance at Aston Villa, because I really do rate him. He's only 22. If we pick him up for like 2 mil, I'll be more than happy than that, because it fills in our striker problem, because we might not get Bent, and even if we do get Bent, we still need another striker, I reckon, and we obviously bring in that new winger, so that would be a really nice signing. Apart from that, I don't really have a clue what Clement's going to bring in, what he's going to get rid of. I don't really see him selling that many players, because we don't really have the biggest of squads now that a lot of those players haven't renewed contracts, and we did have quite a few on loan, obviously. So it is going to be interesting, I must say. We are in for some good stuff coming up in this team. I reckon he will do a good job. Like, you can't be a bad football person to be Chelsea, PSG and Real Madrid assistant manager. You can't be bad at the game of football, and he's only 43, so in the football managing world, it's quite young. It's just past retiring as a footballer, obviously that kind of age. I don't think he played as a footballer in his career. Maybe he did a little bit for a lower league team or something. But in my opinion, it's kind of a good one, because he's going to be at the club, in my opinion, for the next 10 to 15 years. I can see him as a manager that will stay there for a very long time and just build this club up, and I don't see how it can go wrong, really. Maybe if he doesn't get the right signings in this first season, his head might be on the chopping board, but I think they'll give him time. He's new. Promotion is an interesting one, because this season is probably one of the best seasons, because you look at the teams in the Championship, there isn't that many good ones. There's obviously QPR with quite a bit of money. There's obviously Hull. I don't see Hull doing well. I think they'll hold off for a season, just not get relegated back down to League One, and do something like a Wigan or something. I could see them just getting mid-table, maybe push a promotion, a similar like Blackburn style thing. So I don't know. I could see us either doing fantastically or meh. So a very similar manager to Paul Clement is probably Brendan Rodgers. He was the assistant at Chelsea, I believe, and I don't see why he can't be as good as Brendan, because Brendan, he is a good manager, there's no doubt about that, but he bought the wrong players. So I think if he buys the right players, we need quality, that's all we need. We don't especially need like a backup player, because these players, in my opinion, maybe Bryson first team, but all of these on here, they're just backup, they're just fillers, and players, whenever they do get injured, they'll just fill in. And I don't know what's happened with Sessegnon and Cambo, really. I haven't heard much about him. Rawson actually did quite well. Maybe he'll be introduced into the team, and Hansen, obviously. I reckon the youth will be quite important this year, and I could see us bringing on a couple. I reckon he'll sign 3 permanent players. As I did say, Pearce and Wyman are quite likely, maybe Bent as well as one of the permanents, and then bringing on some lone defenders. I think maybe like Luke Garbett from Everton. That could be quite an interesting one. Everton at the moment have about 3 left backs, so if we could pick one of those up, that'd be quite nice. Obviously not Leighton Baines, he's on quite a bit, but yeah, it would be nice if we could bring in a young left back, maybe right back, because I don't really feel that these players are good enough. I think we need a little bit more. Forsyth going forwards, fantastic player. Defensively, it's hit or miss with him. He sometimes has fantastic games, but then others just absolutely woeful. Alban Tozer and Keogh. The problem is with this season, we switched up too much. We didn't stay with the same back line. We kept changing it, putting these in. We never dropped Keogh. We put this guy here, put Keogh at right back, put him there, put Warnock at left back. So when you do that kind of thing, it's not really going to work well. Grant was like the only guy in the back 5 that always stood there. Maybe we could do with a bit of backup for Grant, maybe someone just to compete slightly with him. I don't know who that could be, maybe on loan or something. I think we definitely need another CDM. I don't know who, but we need one, that's for sure. If we are going to continue with this, obviously the original formation, which is that, I don't really see him playing this formation. I honestly can't see Clement playing the 4-3-3. I could see us definitely playing the either 2 or 4-4-2, just as simple as that. It's really difficult, because I don't know enough about Clement, and nobody does really. He's been the assistant. You could say he's been quite important to obviously the likes of Ancelotti and Hiddink, but is he really? So I think he'll be similar to Brendan Rodgers. He'll be a very good manager, there's no doubt about that. He might get us promoted in the first season, which would be fantastic. Brand new manager, and I think we should give him time, at least the 3 years that he has signed on his contract. Then we'll have a look after that, because there's no point in rushing in, getting someone new, and if you keep chopping and changing managers, you're never going to get anywhere. That's the problem with a lot of clubs in football. They just keep getting a new guy in, keep getting a new guy in, keep getting a new guy in, and it never really works. I think Real Madrid are a good example, where Ancelotti in this first season, I think he got 4 trophies, second season, 2 points off top, and semi-finals of Champions League. Just missed out, just a little bit of luck maybe took him out, and now he's been sacked. Was that really the right decision? But I reckon if he wasn't sacked, we wouldn't have Clement. So another few managers I thought I'd just chuck in the pile that we could have got was, I think, Big Sam. That would have been a good option short term, like 2-3 seasons, that would have been a really nice option. But long term, Clement is going to be the man that we need. He's fresh, he's new, he can bring in some fantastic experience. There's no doubt about it. He's got bags and bags of experience from all these amazing managers he's worked under. So it's going to be a really exciting season. I can't wait to see what we do bring in. I would really like us to bring in these players because I don't see any issue with them. Obviously, we'll get Pearce on a free and Wyman on probably 2 million, maybe 3 if it gets. I don't know. I don't see Sherwood really keeping hold of Wyman. So Bent and Wyman going forwards, that would be fine. That signing's done. Centre, defensive mid, that's what we need. And another fullback, I reckon. Just one fullback, either left back or right back. And just keep the back four consistent throughout the season because they will have bad games and they'll have good games. And if you keep them together, they should do that. So if you did enjoy this video, it'd be interesting to see your thoughts in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you're on the channel. If you get over like 15-20 likes, I know it's not the most interesting videos for everyone, but I know a lot of my subscribers are interested in Derby County. So smash the like button, subscribe if you're on the channel, and see you soon. Bye.